Hey there, anyone watching. In an attempt to maybe stop the channel from losing the traction it had gained from those last two videos, I've got a new video here. What I'm going to be going over is gifts I have received from students. And today, after I did have to delist those videos, I will say I did message the students that have sent me these gifts. And they're totally okay with me sharing them. Again, as a teacher, we never ask for gifts, but when students often graduate, if we spend quite a bit of time with them, they'll kind of give you a gift when you graduate. And often these are really sweet, they're heartfelt, and I just want to say thank you for watching if you're watching this. I'm planning a bunch of more art teacher content, Magic the Gathering content, and other stuff. Based on the views I got last time, a lot of people want to see me talk about some stuff. So I'm going to do that. I've been teaching 8 years. I spent 2 years teaching in a native reservation in Alaska. I'm thinking I'm going to do some videos about that soon, as well as maybe just some stories from being an art teacher, and good things, negative things, and everything along those lines. But again, I will say I did speak to many of my students in the last that I showed their artwork in the last video. I do have to delist it. It is unlisted, and they all gave consent to post the video. But my admins do not want me to post it, and they asked me to remove it, which is very disappointing. I'm hoping the channel can grow a little bit still. I do have consent to film our Magic Club and students that are in our game club. We're going to do some content like that. But again, this is all gifts I have received from students. And it'll potentially be as interesting. And I'm just going to kind of go through these here. We got Christmas vibes going on. Christmas tree, bookshelf, a deer I got a couple years ago. And I'm just going to start going through them. And we're going to start with a student who is a 10th grader now. He's been really supportive of me trying to make these videos. And this is a kid I had last year, 9th grader. He was new to the school district. And he kind of like clung a little bit to me in a good way, where he was interested in what I was interested in. I was interested in what he was interested in. And one thing we connected on right away was the Elder Scrolls. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I have played Morrowind, I have played Oblivion, and I have played Skyrim. I've even played a little bit of Daggerfall. But this student purchased a Golden Claw, as known from Skyrim, and gifted it to me. He did tell me that this one was a little smaller than what he wanted, so he gave it to me. Really, really amazing gift. And this kid here, great dude. He's got some socials I'll maybe tag if we can in the future. But awesome Golden Claw. He gave me this last year at some point, and he said I could share it, as well as some custom Magic the Gathering cards. He had done a little bit of stalking on my Instagram and art pages, and made me some custom cards. So here is a custom card. Knitram, Paranoid Theorist. And he found this image I drew of myself wearing glasses on my Instagram, which I will link. I post my art on Instagram. But that was really cool. I just was blown away by it. One of them that he gave me is foil. And it's really cool. But I'm just going to set that aside here. Knitram, Paranoid Theorist. It is a proxy version of a card that does exist in Magic, but I'm moving on. And this one was very special to me. One of my favorite cartoons of all time is Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and he made me a Master Shade card. I will say that none of the abilities or whatever would work for an actual commander. He was new to Magic, so he didn't know that stuff. But he gave this to me. And I will say, out of these other ones here too, He gave me some other ones of lands that are my custom art he took from my Instagram, and I will share those in the future. These are not all the gifts I have received from students. So, next one here. I always ask students to draw this for me. I had a student, he was a 9th grader last year, one of my advisees, and he said, hey, Mr. Biondo, can I, oh, I said my name, he said, hey, can I draw something for you? And I said, yes. What do you want to draw? And he said, I don't know, give me something to draw. And he drew for me Chaos Orb. I think a little bit of tracing went on in it, but he drew me a really awesome Chaos Orb, a really legendary card in Magic the Gathering. And I want to say thank you to him. I think he has a YouTube channel. Maybe we'll link him in the future too. Another one we got here. This is one I just received actually 2 or 3 days ago. And I did not know who it was from. It was just sitting on my desk in a Goodwill bag. And it still had the price tag $2.99 on it. So this one, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I've seen every single episode of Star Trek, every series of Star Trek, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and everything else. I've seen it all. I hate Discovery though. Discovery is terrible. Maybe that's another video. But I didn't even see him. This is one of my kids from our Magic the Gathering club that we'll also be posting videos about. And this is a Star Trek 5, the motion picture, marshmallow dispenser. I love this kind of stuff. You can put marshmallows in there, you can close it up, you can open it up, and it's even got some forks and spoons on here. My 2.5-year-old daughter is a huge fan of marshmallows, so I gave her this. And this is an amazing little gift. Again, we never ask for students for gifts. It's just a nice little bonus of the job. All of these little things are. So this Star Trek marshmallow dispenser, very cool. I didn't even know it existed. Another one we got here is a Voltron, a racer toy. And I will say, I do not remember who gave me this toy, but again, I'm sure they'd be fine with me sharing that it was gifted to me. I love Voltron. I grew up watching Voltron. I'm 34, so I'm kind of second gen Voltron, but I did watch that original series, and I did have some of the original Voltron toys, and these are erasers, so very fitting for an art teacher. I'm probably going to keep it in the packaging though. Thank you to whoever gave this to me. Thank you so much. It's still on my shelf. Okay, here we got one that is topical and seasonal. It's a Christmas tree. I got this from a student my first year teaching where I teach now. And this was a student I had a lot of issues with. I would say the first time I had him in a class, Angel, never caused me any issues. Second time I had him in a class, he had some buddies in there. Things got a little tricky. I will never mention any names or anything, but this is a student that taught me a lot about education, actually. It was a student that pushed me. They tried to make me mad. They tried to do that kind of stuff all the time. That's part of the job. But I had these really nice fleeting moments with him where we'd connect on a game, or we'd laugh at similar jokes, or I'd crack him up. But he still kind of had the need to just poke the bear. And I remember we kind of ended on a harsh note after our quarter. And then at the end of the school year, he came by and asked me to sign his yearbook. And I gave him a hug and I said, you know, you really pissed me off a few times, but I wish you the best. And I want to thank you for being in my class, because I'm a genuine believer in that every difficulty or struggle is there to help you grow. That's kind of how I look at things. And I've kept this from him since. Again, it's a student I always remember. I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but He was one that was very difficult, but it taught me more about myself and teaching than almost anything else I've experienced in teaching. Sometimes when you hit that wall of difficulty or opposition, it forces you to think in a new way. And this student did that. I will say I really despised them at the time when I was dealing with it, but once the smoke had cleared, I really appreciated them. But Christmas tree, I still use this. I put it in my daughter's room. She decorates it. Another one we got here. This was a really sweet one. I was very into watercolor painting last year and the year before, and I will say I had two students, not going to mention their names or anything. They gave me consent to share this. There are two students that really solidified that I want to be an art teacher. I've been teaching art for about 5-6 years. A lot of teachers say in general, it takes you like 4 or 5 years to really decide if you want to be a teacher. And these were kind of the years that helped me decide that. It's a nice little watercolor, clay, ceramic thing to put your paintbrushes in. Not super functional, but I leave it on my desk, and these are things that are reminders of why I do the job I do. There's many days that suck. Well, no, I wouldn't even say that actually. There's many days where it's just kind of like, And when you have students that you really connect with, it makes it all really, really, really worth it. And I'm never gonna get rid of this. I've even tried to use it sometimes, but thank you for this watercolor little paint tray here. The next one I'm gonna go to here is one of my favorites. And this is a student, I remember when I first had them, they were friends with the kid that had the tree. So I was a little concerned, to be honest. But I connected with this student so much, and I feel bad to this day that I haven't kept in touch as much. I remember he had asked me to speak for him at his graduation at the ALC, and just to share some things about him. And he was a student of mine that really solidified that I love my job. And it was one of the first kids that I don't really even know entirely what to say about it. I connected with him, he connected with me, we kind of understood each other, and I felt I was kind of providing a safe space for him to be himself. I remember, I think one day I caught him like flipping someone off, and we were doing a ceramics unit in our class, and he asked me if he could do this, a little middle finger sculpture. And again, this kid was a senior, one I really cared about. And this was kind of a joke, you know, amongst us of like, yeah, give him the finger here and there. I will say it's not anatomically correct. It's like a Ninja Turtle hand, you know, it's missing a finger here. But he gave this to me when he graduated. I will also say, I remember when he graduated, he gave me a pack of Magic the Gathering Foundations booster, and I pulled an Omniscience and a doubling season on it. It was an insane pull. But at the bottom of this, it says something very sweet, and I'm not going to share their name, but it says, "Thank you for being a great teacher." And these are the things that really keep me going. This is one I leave on my shelf every day, and it kind of gives me a little bit of pep in the morning. Now what I'm going to move on to is some notes. Some notes I have received from students. And again, I'm going to say this is not all of the stuff I have received from students. I'm not going to say who the names of these students are. I'm just going to list some of the things they wrote me at the end of the year. And this should maybe serve as inspiration for those of you going into the field of education, or for those of you struggling. You're always going to have a student like this. And I'm going to read a couple of these notes here, and there's even more that I have at work. I always keep these and look at them all summer. Mr. Teacher, the past 2 years of my life have been 2 years I've learned a lot. A lot about the person I was and the person I want to be. I've realized that through it all, I have my art classes. Whether it was a place to vent or just relax and create, I loved it. I made a lot of my friends, and our bonds grew stronger because of our art classes together. And I met a pretty great mentor too. Now for the cringe, here it goes. And I have a hard time reading these and not getting worked up. But again, like I've said in previous videos, I love my job, and these are the things that make me love my job. If you're an art teacher or a teacher, keep this stuff in mind. I have a lot I want to say, but I want to start by thanking you for the academic award. That meant a lot to me. Listening to your speech made me think about all of the art classes I've taken with you, and I remembered how much fun I had in each class. Whether it was creating work, or talking about some weird conspiracy theory. As much as I'm excited to graduate and leave, I know I'm going to miss that time in my day where I got an hour to just sit down and create art. I did not expect to get emotional in this video. I'm worried that I won't have time to create art anymore. Life gets so busy. Also, thank you for the continuous support you give me throughout the time I've known you. I was hesitant to take Foundations of Art my junior year, thinking it was too late and I wouldn't enjoy it much, but I was so wrong. I connected with you instantly, as it seemed we had so much in common. If I hadn't taken that class, which led to me taking all the other classes I did after, I probably wouldn't have taken art seriously or pursued it any further. There was something about your own love for art that really inspired me to create and pursue it. All in all, you didn't just teach me and inspire my love of art, but you inspired me to be a better person through all of the advice or the life stories you tell. I hope we don't lose touch in the future. Thank you for being the best mentor I could ask for. I did not expect to get emotional right there. But this is the job. And if you're someone who's watching this wanting to be a teacher, know that it's worth it. I never expected to cry on this YouTube channel. I'll call it tearing up. I never expected to do that. But I'll post more stuff in the future. Being a teacher is important. If you're an artist and you were trying to find outreach for your channel, that's important too. And for your artwork. But again, we're trying to kind of keep this going here on Uncommon Lands. We have game club tomorrow. I have way more student gifts, and things along these lines, as well as art that I can share and toss some from home that students have consented to me tossing out. Yeah, so I just got to share this here. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and know that with this traction we've gotten this last week only, I'm gonna really try to keep rolling this through. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I even have one other note from a student here, but I am not gonna read it after I got as emotional reading that last one. But I'm just a guy, I'm an art teacher, I'm an artist, and I'm trying to find an audience for this stuff, my students' artwork or my own. I have a kid's book I'm about to try to self-publish, but thank you if you checked this out and liked and subscribed. This is a longer video than I thought it was going to be, but I appreciate every one of you. Share if you want, do what you want, comment if you want. I'm not going to stop. Have a good rest of your day.